My name is Miriam, I'm a knitwear designer and I design under the label MrsFunnyValentine. My knitwear is for women who love contemporary design and who balance a lot in life. Each of my designs is based on a woman, her quote, her story, and these stories just help me as a mom of 3, a corporate psychologist and a freelance knitwear designer to hold my head a little higher and become a stronger and prouder version of myself despite of the daily chaos that is my life. If that sounds like you, check out my patterns and see if you find something that inspires you too. Today we are going to knit a swatch of Honeycomb Brioche. I used this pattern in my latest design, the Chloé shirt that you can see here. And it features this nice flowy honeycomb brioche. Depending on the yarn you use, this pattern will look very different. This is again the ananas yarn that I used for the original design. It's a linen pineapple blend, so it is a bit sturdy, but because of the honeycomb brioche, it has a lot of movement and drape. If you use different yarn, like here, for example, I used a merino hand-dyed yarn by Positive Ease. The honeycomb brioche will look much different. This is not wet blocked yet, it's just steamed, but you can see that the texture looks a little bit different. It is a bit squishier than the pineapple linen blend, and it is a pattern that has a lot of body and naturally just a lot of texture and substance to it. That said, let's get started on honeycomb brioche knit back and forth. I cast on an even number of stitches. In this case I'm using 16 stitches, and now we do a setup row on the wrong side of our work. And that will be just knitting all stitches. We are now working the first right side row of our honeycomb brioche pattern. That's row number 1, and we're working the pattern with stitches that are worked into the row below. So the first and last stitch, our edge stitches, I will always knit those. Please check the pattern what is required here for your edge stitches and how you are supposed to work them. And now we always work knit 1 below and then knit 1. So to knit 1 below, we are finding our yarn wrap and we're inserting our needle below that yarn wrap into the previous row stitch. And then we're just knitting from there. And then knit 1. Then we do the same again. We find the stitch below and we knit from there. And then a regular knit. And we repeat this for the rest of the row until we reach our last stitch. Knit our last stitch, and then we turn our work. We're now at the wrong side of our work, so we knit our first edge stitch and we knit the second stitch, and then we see here that we have this double wrap where we knit in the previous right side row into the below stitch. So we have an extra wrap here, so we pick up this extra wrap and together with the wrap on our needle we knit that as one stitch. The next one is a regular knit, and again you see here we have again the double wrap. We pick up the first wrap and then the regular stitch and we knit them both together as one, and a regular knit, and again we pick up the wrap and knit both together as one, and we repeat this for the remainder of the row. knit stitch. And then we turn our work. So we're now in row 3. Again, we knit our first edge stitch. And you can see now that we have here 2 wraps around this knit stitch, and we have here just 1 wrap around the stitch. So we're always going to knit the stitch where we see 2 wraps, and we knit below into the row where we see only 1 wrap. So the first one is a regular knit in this case. The second one is in the row below. A regular knit. Then here again we put in the needle below the wrap and knit into the row under. And we repeat this for the remainder of the row. And we knit our last stitch. You can pull a little on your fabric and you start to see the little weave shapes appearing that are the characteristic of this Honeycomb Brioche pattern. But let's turn our work and complete this first full pattern section with row 4, which is again a wrong side row. So again, we are knitting the first stitch. And then we see here we have the 2 wraps on our wrong side. So every time we see 2 wraps on the wrong side, we pick that first loop up and the second loop up, knit them together, and the next stitch is a regular knit. Again, we pick up the loop below, the loop on the needle, and we knit them as 1 stitch, and a regular knit after. Again, we pick up the loop and knit it together with the stitch on the needle, and a regular knit afterwards. And we complete that for the rest of the row. We have now worked 4 entire rows, which is the entire repeat of the Honeycomb Brioche. Now we start again from row number 1. It looks a bit odd, and you might find it irritating that after row 4 you see basically a purl pattern on the right side of your work where you have the little V shapes appearing. This is the natural flow of the pattern. You just need to remember to stop working the Honeycomb Brioche after a row 1 or after a row 3. But for now, let's just do 1 more repeat and then look at how the pattern looks like. So we're starting again with the row number 1. That means we are starting with a knit below and we knit the next stitch. Knit below, knit the next stitch. And we're doing a row 2 where we're working knit 1 and then a lifted knit. Knit 1 and lift up the wrap. Lifted knit. We are turning our work and we're working a row 3, which is a knit 1 and then knit below. Knit 1, knit below. Knit 1, knit below. And we're working a row 4 where we work a lifted knit, and then a knit 1. Lifted knit and knit 1. That we have now 2 repeats. I will work a third one just to show you how the final look is, because the pattern is a little small at the moment. Okay, so I worked another 3 rounds just to show you how it looks like. This is now after pattern round 3, and you see we have the little V shapes appearing. We have this squishy texture of the fabric. And if you get confused, the most important thing you need to remember is you need to be aware which is your front side, your right side, and which one is your wrong side. At the beginning this can be confusing because it does not look much like the final pattern in the first few rows. So mark your front side so that you always know where you are. And remember, if you see 2 wraps on the right side, then you need to regularly knit the stitch and knit below in the next one. If you see double wraps on the wrong side, you have to pick them up and knit them together with the wrap and knit the next stitch as a regular stitch. This is the only thing you need to remember, and then it will help you to not having to look at the pattern instructions all the time, but you can just go by visual on how the stitches present themselves on the needle to you. I hope this was helpful, and if you want to know how to work the Honeycomb Brioche pattern in rounds, jump to the next video. And this concludes our little knitting tutorial for today. Thanks for watching and happy knitting!